All right, hey everybody, welcome back. I hope you're all doing well. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out as always. So I've actually tried to record this video a couple times. I'm essentially testing Vynnset with the new pieces, a couple different builds as explained. So you can go take a look at those previous two videos where I kind of outline the mid-range build. There's some gameplay associated with that. And there's a separate video for the Redline build with some gameplay. So I wanted to film some more gameplay as I was testing these new lists. But, you know, I've been kind of reflecting on the format of this. I filmed another very long video. It's like over an hour. And I understand it could be difficult to like filter through those videos. And maybe there's only one matchup you're interested in watching. So I think I'm going to pivot to like a more short form and just sort of like daily Vynnset. It's not my idea. There are other content creators that have done this like daily gameplay stuff, but I'm going to try and keep it as brief as possible. So I jumped on Talishar and pre-recorded a couple games. They went quite well. Overall, Redline has been feeling quite good. So again, go check out the Redline build if you're interested in the deck list. I'm not going to repeat the deck list every time, but I will include a link in the description of the video. So without further ado, let's just take a look, and we're just going to like re-watch this video of a very recent match. I played this just a few minutes ago into -IO. So I chose to go with Carrion Husk here because they do present some larger attacks that we might want to throw it in front of. I'm just kind of like sideboarding with my heart right now as we're testing a new list. I don't have like a solid sideboard plan. I am testing Haunting Rendition. This is a new addition since the last list. Or since the deck tech video, so keep that in mind. I am testing Haunting Rendition here, and I think it's quite interesting. So DIO, I think, doesn't do very much on this first turn. Just plays out a backup protocol red and moves on with their life. I think they might actually pitch into it or something just to filter their hand, yeah. But we're staring at a pretty nice setup turn as well. So we're probably just going to do some setup here. Banish this Deathly Delight. Play out the Deadwood Dirge to turn this 1 rune chant into 3 rune chants. Oh, and we actually, yeah, we have a good makeup. Our hand structure makes it so that we kind of guarantee pulling cards from their hand. So I decided to throw this one out. We're going to gain some life regardless. We get to throw out a big beefy Deathly Whale, 8 go again, threatening 3 rune chants on hit. So it kind of forces some cards out of hand. Arguably, I may not have wanted to. There could have been 1 point of health here. I didn't have to take the life from Vynnset's ability since I knew I was going to follow it up with Flail. Flail pings us for 1. And they decided to just take it, give us our rune chant, and move on. So we did still gain 2 life, but we didn't really need to lose that life on our Shadow Non attack since we were following it up with Flail either way. That the Flail swing causes us to lose a life, and then we would have gained the 2 anyways. So maybe 1 point of life I could have saved there. On this turn, we banish Eloquent Eulogy, go Shadow Puppetry, take the life, or I guess thinking about it, we decided to go ahead and take it, and play out the Eloquent Eulogy. In this case, it has go again, and I'm staring down a Funeral Moon, which can restore our action point. In this case, we don't really need it, but floating that Eloquence to the next turn is going to be quite nice. No need to banish this Revel on hit from Shadow Puppetry. We are just going to follow it up with this Ravenous Rabble. Hope to hit a red off top, and we already know because we peeked at it with Shadow Puppetry. It is red Revel, so 4 go again. Present Flail once again here. They don't seem to want to block since they're setting up some boom grenades for the next turn, so they are not going to block this one and let us have our rune chant. I decided to play out the Funeral Moon here just to float a second rune chant to the next turn. I'm just going to pause here for a second because that is a decision point that may be incorrect. I could have chosen to arsenal that Funeral Moon because I know I'm going to have an Eloquence when I close the chain. And that basically represents a rune chant and an action point on my next turn. So it might have been the better call to arsenal that Funeral Moon. In this case, I just decided to play it out to float a second rune chant to our next turn. Drawing into a Deathly Well, I'm pretty happy with that decision. Because by banishing the Deathly Well, it brings us to 3 now instead of 2. So it ended up working out, but that's definitely a decision point that could have gone either way. They're playing out a bunch of boom grenades and high octane here. So this is their go off turn. That will likely factor into our decision making. So we'll see what we decide to do, but I'm pretty sure I decide to do a bunch of blocking here because they play out a third boom grenade. So on hit, I think they take that back, actually, yeah. But they're going to play it out later. I don't know what the decision to take it back was all about there, but I'm not a DIO player, so... But they're threatening an additional 7 damage on 7 damage on hit. So I think I do decide this Revel feels a bit awkward in this hand. I don't really make it need it. I also decided to just use Face Purgatory to help that breakpoint. Face Purgatory doesn't always need to be like max value. In this case, I don't know if overblocking it would have been the call, but just to try and like strip this last card from hand, maybe. But Deathly Well is my only attack here, and I kind of want to hold on to it because I love this kind of hand makeup here. In this case, they're presenting 4 with an additional 11 on hit. So I decided that that's enough value to get from Carrion Husk, preventing that 11, stifling some of the boom grenades. So I decided to throw Husk under the bus here. And then we're just going to snap take all of their Symbiosis shots. They were able to bank a bunch of action points from High Octane, so we're just going to snap take all these 2s. We don't really care. It's just 2, 2, 2, 2 vanilla damage, and so we're just happy to take that and put some pressure of our own on next turn. So we've only really taken 10 damage this turn so far, so our life lead is quite healthy. We're happy to just take these vanilla 2s. I'm also not too worried about Husk and Banish because we know that this is going to be a relatively quick game. Excuse me, DIO is just trying to race us down. So in this case, we're playing Shadow Puppetry Whale, just like a bread and butter sort of like line. Snap take the damage from Vynnset on Shadow Puppetry to guarantee 2 rune chance on Chain Close. And in this case, even better, Malefic Incantation makes us another rune chant on attack. They do let this hit, and I love to see this Deathly Whale on top. We really lucked into that one. Because when I close the chain, thanks to Malefic, we now have 3 rune chants, and I can follow it up with the second Whale. And their life is ticking down fast at this point. The beauty of this is when I close the chain, I'll still make another 2 rune chants. So really, really nice for us. So they go to 3. We end on 2 rune chants, and we're laughing at this point. So things are really going our way. But that's just what these new consistency pieces do for Vynnset, I think. So we drew into 2 Haunting Renditions, which I love as well. It is a bit of a slower turn. We don't have any attack actions, unfortunately, in this hand. But this hand will allow us to stifle their next boom grenade turn, which is my only goal right now. Can I prevent them from getting value from these boom grenades that they're playing out? So I don't really mind taking a turn off here if I'm causing their turn to be quite awkward. And we got all the breakpoints here. They're probably getting quite frustrated at this point because we seem to have all the answers for what they're doing. This is going to be a big number here, 7, but we're just going to give them Haunting Rendition and Funeral Moon. Nice sort of like perfect block to what they're doing. I'm thinking on it, wondering whether I really want to hold on to this or if it's worth holding on to this Funeral Moon instead, just to have something to banish on our next turn. But I'm kind of happy just getting the value on the even block. I just got to refresh Talishar here quick. A little bit of a glitch. And they got frustrated, tilted, and quit on us. So we said, good game. We did have a 28-point life lead there towards the end. So anyways, I think that goes to show the power of the deck and what those new consistency pieces can do. I hope you enjoy this sort of like change in format. Again, I'm just going to like try and break it up and record a couple like short form videos. So if you like it, please consider subscribing. I always appreciate the support. And I'll be back right away with the next game. So I had a really productive day on Talishar here, so I'm going to cut it off there, and we're going to take a look at another game. Cheers, everybody.